Yo, what's up, guys? It's Lil Q from the Monday Night Marks, or Max, whatever you want to call me. I guess just to start this video, me and Edwards have been talking about bringing this channel back and not necessarily doing like the Monday Night Nitro reviews because that kind of, that took a lot of effort and like we're kind of busy. So, but we thought maybe do more of like a roundtable talk discussion, maybe some modern reviews when we feel like it, whatever. It is the Monday after WrestleMania, which by the way I thought was one of the better ones the last couple years. I actually really enjoyed night 2 mostly. But one of the highlights of the show was Kevin Owens versus Steve Austin. I thought it was great. I mean, it's kind of crazy Austin got back in the ring. Whatever. Maybe we'll do a review about Mania, but that's not what this video is about, really. I found the same night, there was a Twitter feed. So Trevor Dame, who is he's a co-host of a podcast, ROH, Through the Years podcast on ROH. It's about an ROH, podcast, whatever. So he tweeted something that probably shouldn't have been tweeted, and he got some slack for it. So Trevor Dame tweeted the following. And once again, I would say it didn't need to be said. Now he's kind of paying for it, as far as, backlash from fans and whatnot. So he tweeted, all those years ago, CM Punk mocked Kevin Owens on the Indies, made fun of him for wearing a t-shirt. 17 years later, Kev is getting Punk's unrealized dreams, main eventing WrestleMania, a match with Steve Austin, and he's doing it in his t-shirt. So if you don't know backstory, I guess 15 years ago, whatever, it should be water under the bridge at this point, Punk allegedly made fun of Kevin Steen at the time for wearing a t-shirt in his matches because he looks like a slob, which, I don't have any problem with that, but it's not really like, it's not like he didn't tell the truth in a way. So I said, comparing Kevin Owens to CM Punk is ridiculous. Punk changed the wrestling business and is one of the greatest champions Vince has ever had. KO is entertaining, but will never even remotely leave the same legacy Punk has on the wrestling industry. I thought nothing of it. I thought, yeah, that's just a normal tweet. I feel like most people would agree with that. Blah, 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 whatever. First of all, the bottom line is Trevor shouldn't have even compared Kevin Owens to CM Punk. Like, why did this need to be said? Why can't we just enjoy the fact that Kevin Owens and Steve Austin had an awesome match? Especially because, Austin came out of retirement for that. It was very entertaining. Great way to close night 1. Austin took bumps. It was awesome. Whatever. No reason for Trevor to even bring up Punk in the first place. I was surprised at the amount of people who disagreed with me. I thought it was pretty, easy and a pretty known thing that CM Punk has had much more of an impact on the wrestling industry than Kevin Owens did. Just so many, most people, majority of people agreed with me, right? It's not like I slandered Kevin Owens. I said he's entertaining, but comparing the two's legacies is unfair. I thought to Kevin Owens and both of them, right? People said Punk didn't change anything at all. He did a pipe bomb that was scripted. By me saying, this is the tweet that got the most traction. Greatest champions, what are you using to validate that statement? In-ring performance, ratings, buy rates, house show attendance, just curious, thanks. So that made me do a deep dive, and I'll show you guys here on the screen just facts on why Punk was a great champion and why people cared about him and why he was one of the best champions Vince ever had. Because just to start out, and this is from more of a scripted perspective, this has nothing to do with buy ratings, whatever. His 434 days as WWE champion are longer than, and this is modern era and onward, The Rock's 8 combined reigns, Shawn Michaels' 3 combined reigns, Edge's 4 combined reigns, The Undertaker's 4 combined reigns. Which is pretty crazy. But then, I came back because he said, thanks for the clarity. This is at Tanvira Quib. I don't know how to say that. But I found this Reddit feed and links to articles, whatever, and then I found actual facts. So, listen to this. During the first 14 pay-per-view period, the WWE sold a total of 4.275 million pay-per-views, amounting to an average of 305,357 purchases per event. Not only does this mark a 6.5% increase in purchases per event, but 7 of the 11 pay-per-views between 2011 TLC and 2012 Hell in a Cell record a higher buy rate than the previous year's event, which means business was up for Vince when Punk was champion. And of course, you had these people saying, at Paul Duckett said, during that run, Punk main evented very few of the pay-per-views, which, true for a champion, he still main evented most of them, but Cena also main evented a couple, and this is after he lost it. So during the 12 pay-per-view period, after Punk lost it, WWE sold a total of 3.619 million pay-per-views, amounting to an average of 308,833 purchases per event. Following Punk's departure from the title scene, buy rates plummeted, with Battleground registering only 114,000 pay-per-view buys, the lowest buy rate in years. Without the strong sales from 2013 Royal Rumble, Punk was in the main event against Rock. Obviously, that's The Rock. It's a big draw. Punk's a part of that too. Let's not act like he wasn't. The period would have only registered 267,000. So with the Royal Rumble alone, that's a 33,000 average difference for pay-per-views. Throughout the year, over half of the events registered buy rates that were lower than the previous year's edition. I think enough said. I think that's clear-cut evidence that CM Punk obviously had a very big impact on business. Once again, I didn't think much about it when I said this. The Rock was in the company, and Brock came back during the title run. Pretty unevidential guesswork to claim it was based on Punk, who they were sending out middle of the show at times. I said Rock was on every show, and neither was Brock. They work twice a year. We know this. SummerSlam, Rumble, Rock worked at Mania. I don't think he worked at SummerSlam, but Lesnar worked at SummerSlam, whatever. And then he said Cena headlined most of the shows. John Cena wrestled in most of his shows other than the Rock at Mania. He wrestled, and Lesnar at SummerSlam, I believe. Cena wrestled John Laurinaitis, Big Show, and Kane for most of 2012 until he got back to CM Punk. I mean, yeah, Cena's always going to be a big draw, whatever. But you got to keep in mind, one of the big things here is Punk worked with Ryback, who was super over, Daniel Bryan, Jericho, and then Cena most of the year. How is that not a great championship run? Keep in mind, this comes when Punk overtook Cena in merchandising. While that's like kind of a myth, I mean, like he did take him over, but only for a couple weeks. If you remember, there's rumors that WWE put in restrictions, I guess, for merchandising. I'd have to go back and look, but basically Punk overtook him, and then he couldn't go past a certain point because they were like, oh, well, you were doing better than Cena. We don't want you to do better than Cena, so we're just gonna, back down on some of your merch things. He's the only person to ever overtake Cena in merchandise sales, especially when Cena was an active wrestler. All of that being said, I don't understand how these people, and once again, like I said, I'm not the biggest Kevin Owens fan, but I'll be the first to tell you, he's entertaining, he's one of the best parts on the show, especially today's day and age, and he had probably, top 3 best matches at Mania. Even though it was with Stone Cold, who is going to be an immediate draw, that's still, he's involved in that. He built the whole thing by himself for the most part. It was very entertaining. Whatever. Okay? I don't know how you can say CM Punk doesn't have a greater legacy than Kevin Owens. I really don't understand the amount of people that CM Punk has inspired. I'm not saying there's people Kevin Owens has inspired, but the amount of people that, especially wrestlers who have openly said CM Punk inspired me to be a wrestler. Like Darby Allin said that. MJF literally was biggest part of their feud was him saying that. Maybe it was a work, doesn't matter, whatever. Let me know. I respect your decision. I respect your opinion. I don't understand I don't understand the logic behind that from a business perspective. I know Owens has held the Universal title. I know he was a big part of NXT coming up. He was a very important indie wrestler when he was with ROH, whatever. I still think Punk preluded that. He was really the first big indie wrestler to make it. He was a World Heavyweight Champion, before he was even WWE champ. He was, headlining indie shows for years and years. When he left ROH, it was one of the biggest deals of all time. Whatever. I still don't think, even with whatever Kevin Owens did on the indies, now I'm not going to say I don't think, I know for a fact Punk has had, one of the biggest impacts on the business, I think, of not only active wrestlers, but I think of all time. And I really don't think that has to be said, but I decided to make this video. I wanted you guys' comments. I want to know what you guys think about this, CM Punk's legacy. I want to know if you think Kevin Owens even stacks up to that. Keep it respectful, please. The Twitter, you know how it is. IWC, you know how we sometimes get out of control. Try and keep it respectful on the feed. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. I really think that it didn't really need to be said. I think Kevin Owens is a very entertaining wrestler. I don't think he's the best worker in ring. Punk's kind of the same way, but I think that's the only thing you can really compare about him. I think it doesn't really need to be said that Punk. I don't think it needs to be said that CM Punk's legacy is bigger than Kevin Owens. But I want to know what you guys think. I really do. I really Appreciate if you guys made it this far in the video, watching, subscribe. We're gonna have some content coming out similar to this. We're gonna do some reviews. Maybe we'll do some Mania reviews. I'll get Edwards back in on it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I'll get the thread going, get the discussions going, and subscribe to Monday Night Marks for more of this. Follow us on Twitter, and yeah, follow me on Twitter at xloqx. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed Mania. I actually did, and I didn't really think I was going to, just because I haven't been regularly watching in a while. I if I'm gonna watch wrestling, I'll probably throw AEW on once or twice a week. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know if you guys enjoyed Mania, if you think Kevin Owens' legacy is actually as important as CM Punk's, or if you kind of agree with me and think otherwise. Let me know that too. So, all right, I appreciate you guys watching, and look out for some new content. We'll get that to you soon. All right, peace.